Hey guys, welcome to my video. Okay, we're gonna have a little discussion here about the Trump protesters who stormed the Capitol a couple days ago. I am a bit late on this because I haven't been motivated to make videos because you guys need to be watching my videos, okay, for me to be putting up these videos. But I'm gonna talk about this as fairly as possible. All right, I don't take sides. If you guys know anything about my channel, it's all about being fair. I am apolitical. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't really care either way. If anything, I'm a pragmatist. All right. I don't care what race you are, what gender you are, what color you are. If you give me an argument and then you throw out a bunch of facts, I'll look at it as fairly as possible and I'll make a judgment out of it. I don't go out of my way to actually take sides. I'm impartial. All right, I consider myself impartial as far as this whole entire thing is concerned. First of all, I don't know. I don't know why the media is making such a big deal over this whole storming of the Capitol thing. Okay, first of all, if these Trump supporters did it without the whole BLM mess that occurred previous to this, like the whole BLM mess that occurred for 6 months on, where people were protesting, beating people up, destroying property, you know, etc., etc. If that didn't occur and they, you know, if that didn't occur, this whole situation with them storming the Capitol, you know, having issues with the whole voter fraud thing, none of this would occur. All right, this would have been nothing. Obviously, you know, they probably would have had issues with voter fraud, but they would have just left it. They probably wouldn't even have mobilized on the Capitol, to be honest with you, with something like that. Probably not to the extent that they did. Okay. I don't fault them. I actually support them as far as them protesting. Going to the Capitol, protesting. And I might even support them with storming the Capitol, okay? Essentially, the politicians, the legislatures, the representatives, they're supposed to be, let's just say, if there's two sides and there's a battle between two parties, the liberals, the BLMs, the Antifas versus the Trump conservatives. All right, let's just say the lawmakers, the politicians, Nancy Pelosi's, the you know, all these people, AOCs, they're supposed to be impartial referees. All right, they're supposed to be impartial referees. Okay, they're not supposed to take sides. They're supposed to look at whatever it is and then you know and then make the policies accordingly. But they didn't. All right, over this whole fiasco with the whole BLM thing. If you guys watching my videos, I don't support these idiots, the BLMs. I think they're absolutely garbage. Trash, garbage, race baiting pieces of garbage. Okay, just absolutely mentally retarded as far as them, Antifa, the whole 6 months of just destroying property, violence towards people, making people, you know, making people feel guilt about stuff that they shouldn't be feeling guilty for. All right, so not going off the path or anything like that, but I'm not going to support any group that supports, you know, some guy who had some guys, some people, a bunch of people who have history, criminal records. And then we're not talking about just, you know, simple, you know, we're not talking about, you know, criminal records that are just, you know, about stealing, stuff like that. We're talking about serious criminal records. All right, we're talking about sexual assaults, people who had sexual assaults, people who had a history of violence, all right, of attempted murder, etc. Like, there's no way anybody should support them, all right? They probably deserve what they got. And I'll keep on saying that. I don't really care what you think. All right, there's no way I'm going to support something like that. All right, if these people were good, outstanding citizens and they got pulled over the cops and they got stomped out and killed, that's another, that's another whole nother thing. But that's not the case here. Well, that's not the case for like every single one of these protests that occurred with these police shootings. They probably, these idiots probably had it coming as far as getting stomped out. I don't care what you think. All right. So 6 months of rioting and lawlessness, etc., etc. Nancy Pelosi, she like kiss feet, bent over, kiss feet. All these politicians, De Blasio, kiss feet. You guys are supposed to be impartial about this, okay? So you guys are not impartial. You guys are not impartial. You guys are partial to a certain group. So if these were referees and they were partial to a certain group, they've lost all respect. Nobody should respect them at all. Okay, nobody should respect them at all. Don't care what they are. Don't care who they are. Don't care what position they're. You shouldn't have no respect for these people. All right, it's pathetic. I thought it was pathetic that these. I mean, look at things the way they are, and then make you this. Don't. All right, it just absolutely infuriates me that the liberal side of things, and even these spineless Republicans, so many spineless Republicans who care more about, getting reelected, care more about the money, the money that they're extorting off of the public. And I'm saying just extorting because they're absolutely worthless. All right. These people are not impartial anymore. They've been partial to certain groups. All right? They've been partial to certain groups for the last 6-7 months. And for me, I think if you're supposed to be a referee and you're supposed to be impartial, but you become partial, you should have all respect taken away from you. All right? So, storming of the Capitol, smearing feces on the Capitol, they represent the home of the referees who are being partial towards certain groups and not and impartial towards other groups. They deserve to have their home smeared with feces, have the home disrespected. On top of that, their home is actually everybody else's home. Their home got created by your tax dollars. Their homes got created by your tax dollars. So it's not essentially their home, it's the people's home. So if the people's house was impartial, they should have every single bit of respect taken away from them, and maybe and what was done was I'd say par for the course. Par for the course. Knowing that there are so many people coming out and apologizing for being there, these Trump supporters apologizing for being there and stuff like that, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Even though I don't support them, or I don't support BLM, I don't support any of these groups, it just leaves a really, it just comes off as just cowardly, spineless. Get some backbone, guys, okay? If you thought you were right before, and if you look at it, if anybody looks at it fairly, you guys were right. In this case, you guys were right. It was answering the 6 months of BLM protests. You guys did that one day, maybe a couple hours. And all hell breaks loose as far as the media and big tech censoring all you guys concerned. You guys should be absolutely pissed off. And just double down on what you believe in, which is not just your truth, which is the truth. All right, you guys have every right to do what you guys did. Screw them, screw them. All right, and I'm not even a supporter. I'm not even a Trump supporter. I am neutral towards this. I did not vote for Trump. I did not vote for Biden. But let me add this: as far as the fact that these politicians are now partial to certain groups. I was infuriated when I saw these politicians like Nancy Pelosi and Bill de Blasio kissing the feet of black people. There is a line for this, all right? If they're going to kiss the feet of black people, if they're going to decide to do that as some kind of an act of redemption or whatever, they should be kissing the ass of every single Asian American, no, of every single Native American. All right, if you're gonna decide we're gonna now kiss the feet of black people as an act of redemption, you guys owe more to Native Americans than you guys owe to the blacks. All right, your reparation for Native Americans has not been paid off yet. But you guys skipped them and said, and you guys are considering reparations for black people, okay? Your reparations for Native Americans would be to kick yourselves off this country, off this land. Go back to your own country. And then you guys can do the whole BLM reparations for blacks and for the Jews. For the Jews. I'm going to go off on Jewish people on top of this, okay? For whatever reason, the whole victimization totem pole is just absolutely warped at this point. All right? You used to have the Jews up on top of that totem pole, and then the blacks second. Like, neither of these groups deserve to be on top of that totem pole. All right? The Native Americans, the red man, deserves to be on top of that totem pole. All right? And if you guys start deciding about whether to give back to create some kind of reparations, policies on reparations, etc., kissing feet, you know, bowing, etc., you guys need to start at the beginning of the line. Don't start at the middle of the line. Don't start at the end of the line. You need to start at the beginning of the line, okay? So, okay. Do I have a problem with you guys kissing black people's feet and bowing to them, kneeling to them? Hey, I wouldn't do. You know, I don't think anybody should be doing that. All right, I don't think anybody. It is a disgrace. But if you guys were to do that, you guys need to start that at the beginning of the line. All right, kiss the feet and the ass of every single Native American. You start with that. You get the land back. You apologize. You give them whatever reparations you owe to the red man. You start with there first. Who is on the front of that line. And then after that's done, you then go to the blacks. And then you go to the Jews who just milk the whole entire victimization play as much as they can. So that's my whole entire thought on this whole entire ridiculous, you know, year of partisan protest, etc. To all you Trump supporters out there, I think you are in the right for doing what you did of storming the Capitol. And I gave you my opinions on it. To all you guys who were there and then you guys are apologizing for it, just absolutely lost respect. Double down on your convictions. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Double down on your convictions. Do not do this where you guys had convictions before and when it was safe and when it was easygoing, you guys had that conviction, but now it's, now it's a little bit harder, so you guys kind of go back on your convictions and you guys apologize. There are too many people who sacrificed. They're going to jail for 10, 12 years, losing their business for you guys to be giving up the line, guys. It's just cowardly. It's just cowardly. Don't do that. It's beyond ridiculous. If you guys were there and you guys thought you were right, double down on it. Do not have them push you off that line. All right? Because you guys are the worst. You guys are worse than the BOMs, to be honest with you. I'm actually watching the news clips on YouTube, and I'm thinking to myself, it's bad enough that these corporations have it out for you guys at this point. These corporations like Twitter and Facebook and all these social media platforms have it out for you guys right now. Okay, what you guys want to do is you guys want to stiffen up your upper lip and double down on it. Go to these headquarters, protest the hell out of them, set up, have all these people set up, you know, these little cities like the BOMers did, Chad or whatever. You know, that's what you gotta do. All right? At this point, it's not about your job. It's not about jobs at this point. It's about this country. It's about this country for your children. It's about your dignity. It's about it's serious at this point, guys. All right? And you guys giving up the fight at its very at its very high point, it's cowardly, guys. You guys are gonna regret that. All right? So like I said before, I'm neither a Trump supporter, I'm neither a BOM supporter, but I think if I would have to take sides and look at this pragmatically as possible, I think the Trump supporters, the ones who stormed the Capitol, actually had a good enough reason, ethically, to do that.